Okay, hi guys, Joe here, although obviously that's not Joe in front of the camera, that's actually, can you believe it, the Jeff Walker from the Product Launch Formula, and I am absolutely honoured and blown away that he has agreed to give me a very quick interview and say hello to all you very, very lucky subscribers out there. Hello Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing great, how are you?
I'm great, thank you so much for this. I'd really like it if you could just tell some of the guys out there what got you started and what really inspired you to start the Product Launch Formula.
Well, the Product Launch Formula was, that's the thing that everyone's heard of. You didn't hear about all the stuff I did before that. I was publishing online, I started publishing online in 1986. Product Launch Formula didn't come out until 2005. So I basically was working in a niche. I was publishing in a niche about the stock market for a long time. Figured out how to do product launches, and then started teaching people. So the first thing is I didn't like one day wake up and say, "Boy, I'm going to publish this thing called the Product Launch Formula." When I started my business, it was sort of out of desperation. I was trying to change my life. I had nothing. Our family, total disposable income per year. Like disposable mean the money you had after your expenses. I had a budget, it was $400. $400 per year I could spend. So I was sort of desperate to change my life. I had a couple little babies at home, trying to raise a family, had no money. Never had a business of my own, had failed at a lot of things, failed in the corporate world. And I was desperate. So I started publishing. I started publishing via email. The first email I sent out, I had 19 people on my list. Those are just 19 people that I knew who had email addresses. And actually one of those email addresses was my wife's email address, and one of them was my second email address. So I had really 17 people, but it felt better to say I had 19 people. And so that's where it all started from. And then it's just about baby steps. It's about taking your first step and getting started. And the reality is no one has a great looking website. No one's got a great looking anything when they first start. But it's important to get that start, to do something. And once you start, then you realize it's not that hard and it's not that intimidating. And the world isn't watching you, and you can screw up. You can screw up time after time after time after time. It doesn't matter. And so that's what it was for me.
Can I ask you a personal question? How old were you when you started in the internet business, Jeff?
35-ish.
See, the reason I ask that question is because there are so many, if you like, wonder kids out there who have just made so much money by the time they're 25.
Right.
And I know for myself personally, I'm heading towards my middle age right now, and lots of people who I speak to on a daily basis are in their sort of mid-30s, late 30s. They've got families, that sort of thing, and there's almost like this pressure. That they feel that they've really got to be, an authority figure already before they even start their business, because, they're a bit older and there's all these wonder kids that are kind of running away in front of them with technology and all the rest of it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was just telling my son, about this. I'm like, you don't expect to have your life figured out ever. It's not like I've got anything figured out. I've had some successes, but yeah, there's no rush, and the thing is to be yourself. Like, I look at some of my peers, someone like Frank Kern. Frank Kern is like the funniest guy in the world. And it's not just when he's recording video, it's like when you're hanging out with him. Like, we were up in the suite last night watching a movie. We're watching The Hangover. I mean, and just hearing his commentary, I'm just laughing my butt off. And the guy's hilarious. But if I try to get up and be Frank Kern, can't do it. I'm not like that. I'm not naturally hilarious and charismatic like he is. Or, someone like John Reese, he's got this great authority, and I can't be those people. All I can be is Jeff Walker. But everyone, you learn to tell who you are and connect with who you are, and that's what people want these days online. They want to connect with people. They don't want to buy from companies. They don't want to buy from someone acting a part. And so you just gradually, if you start and take those baby steps I talked about, start publishing is the key, I think. Publish via email, publish via blog, whatever. And you'll start to learn how to tell your stories. Like, when I sent that email out to 17 people, I didn't think that was ever going to be a story I would tell someday. It was just like, but I did. But then you learn how to connect with people, and the connection is what people are looking for online. I think connection is like the highest value any of us could have at any time in our lives, and so it's that simple.
I once heard you do an interview with Tony Robbins, the great big Tony Robbins. What a fantastic, one of my favourite gurus in the world. And you said that you were really passionate about creating entrepreneurs. So where do you sort of see your career going now over the next few years? When I started out, I just wanted to make a few bucks to help my family. And then when we started making a few bucks, and I mean a few, the first year I think I made $12,000 working really hard all year long. But then started to figure things out and got better, and then I just wanted to be able to make enough so my wife wouldn't have to work, so she could be home with our kids. And then I started doing better and better, and then I just wanted to make enough money to be financially independent. And a few years ago got like where I just don't really have to work anymore. Now it's just about making an impact and helping entrepreneurs, because I really do get excited about that. And so I just, the bigger impact I can make and the more people I can help, the better. I mean, and it pays very well. I don't want to, it's just like I'm not Mr. Pie in the Sky singing Kumbaya type of thing. Because, I like all the money and all the people I get to hang out with and things like that. But it's about just making a bigger impact. And where we can go from here is, the sky's the limit. Jeff, if there's one thing, the last question for you, if there's one thing that you could say, because most of my audience are people who are literally just starting their own business, online and offline, or have just started and are kind of taking the next step. If there's one sort of message you could give them, what would you say? I know that there's a million things you could say, but if you could think of one.
Well, it is to get started.
Yeah.
Just to put up a website, to get started, not worry about being perfect, it's all about baby steps. It's taking that first step, whether it's a failure or whatever. It's not a failure if you take your second step. How many children, how many 12-year-old children do you know that can't walk? They all can, unless they're physically disabled. Everyone can walk, but everyone fell down an awful lot learning how to walk, right? It's the same way with anything. It's baby steps. Take baby steps and keep on taking them. And then the other thing is to publish. You need to, I think publishing is the answer. Start building an email list. If you want to publish a blog, that's fine, but start collecting an email list. Put up a squeeze page, build a list, publish them. You don't have to even worry about selling anything, just publish. And because then you're really building an asset once you start to build an email list.
Thank you so much. I can't believe it. Jeff Walker, thank you so much for your interview today. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yep.